Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Luke Barlow and Jim Mead, who are two Bardstown residents who are actually going to make history, possibly in the next few months. In April, they are part of a lawsuit that'll be going to the Supreme Court with regards to marriage equality here for the United States, right?
Right.
So let's talk a little about yourselves. Luke and Jim, you've been together how many years?
47 years.
47 years. Mm-hmm. Now, you two got married in Iowa, correct?
Right.
In 2009.
Yes.
And is that the year that gay marriage became legal in Iowa?
Yes.
Okay.
We went up shortly after that. It became legal in April, and we went up in July.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We had originally lived in Iowa,
right.
so we knew people there.
Right, so that was nice.
Yeah.
To get back, right. And how many states at that time had gay marriage legal?
Maybe?
Yeah, less than 12, I'm sure.
12.
That,
and now, as we're recording this in January, we have 35 states, I believe it is, correct?
Yes.
I think it's 37 because Alabama just went.
Right, okay, that's right.
It's hard to keep up with.
Okay, so 37 states in the United States are currently recognizing gay marriage. It's also federally recognized due to a lawsuit that passed a year ago, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you do have, your marriage is recognized
Federally.
Federally.
Uh-huh.
And is it recognized in all of those other 37 states as well?
Well, it's federal, so yes.
Right, but yes, okay. There's states, though, recognize it as well, too,
right,
correct?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. And the lawsuit that you're a part of, tell us how this lawsuit evolved. It's going to be going to, as we said, to the Supreme Court of the United States in April. We're going to talk a little bit more about that for a decision to be made. And the two questions that are being discussed with that lawsuit are to have it recognized by the state of Kentucky, correct? To have your marriage that was performed in another state recognized here.
Right.
Because currently Kentucky is one of the 13 states that does not recognize it, correct? And there's another question on there too, the possibility of whether states have to allow people to get married in all the different states, correct?
Right.
So they're the two questions that will be discussed and decided by the Supreme Court after this. But how did you two get involved in this lawsuit?
Well, we were sitting on the screen porch one day. It's sort of like when we decided that we would get married. We were sitting out there and talking about it, and I said, what the heck, let's try it. And we'd been together, I guess, 40 years at that time.
Yeah.
So we had lived in Iowa. We decided to go back. It was very easy. We did everything online. We even found the magistrate online. So we went back to Iowa. They were very friendly, were very helpful, and we got it done. Jim, on the way to Iowa, sang "I'm Getting Married" in the morning. And on the way back, he said, "I got married in a fever." So we came back, but we were sitting on the porch and we saw the story about the attorneys in Louisville doing this. There were two young ladies from Shelbyville that originally talked to these attorneys, and they filed in Fayette County because they lived in Shelbyville. But then Greg Burke and Michael DeLeon, they got involved and did it in Louisville. So when we saw that, I called the attorneys. We went up and visited with them. We were concerned about the cost, and we were told, well, that's not going to cost you anything. But we have tried to donate and help out when we could. And then Mike and Greg have two adopted children. And then Paul and Randy from Louisville, they have two adopted children that they adopted right out of the hospital in Paducah that are now 18 years old. And Paul and Randy are not real smart, I don't think. They went back and they've adopted two more children. So they have 4 children. Jim and I got together back years ago when you couldn't even think of adopting a child. Not that we wanted to, but we couldn't afford it either. I mean, we were quite young and didn't have any money. And that's how we got involved. And it's just unbelievable how fast it's gone.
Well, let's talk. So you've been together for 47 years.
Yes.
Now, when you two became a couple, there are laws on the books that have since been eradicated, but in essence made gay relationships illegal.
Right.
So
Well,
there's
Gary-
been a lot that has evolved over this 47
yeah.
years.
We've stayed in the closet all these years.
True.
Now, people that have known us, the people here on the street that have known us for several years, put it together, you know, that we're not just business partners anymore. We actually are partners. And but we had stayed in the closet until this lawsuit came up, and we discussed it. And I said, Jim, you know, it's very possible that we're going to have to be out, and we have been out. This has gone nationwide. It's actually gone across the country. Not national, but it's gone to England and
international.
Yeah, international. Yes. So we weren't looking for recognition. We did this for one reason, and one reason only. I'm a 3-time suicide survivor. When I was growing up and being gay, life was not the best for me. We did it for all these kids that are coming up behind us, that are having these problems, and they're dropping like flies. We just lost a young girl here in Bardstown from bullying. Why she was bullied, I don't know. And I'm not saying it was for gay issues, but a lot of the young people today that we are losing, it's because they are gay and they don't know how to deal with it.
Right. So this lawsuit in April will be with the Supreme Court, and you're going to be up there?
I've already made reservations if they don't change the date.
Right. It's April
28th.
April 28th right now. And there's allocating, I believe, half hour for one question, an hour or so for another question, right? So
Yeah, it's kind of, they don't,
real quick.
well, they've already made up their mind, you know, so they don't have to listen to a lot,
Yes.
I hope.
So when this lawsuit came about, you know, we were talking that Kentucky may not be one of the states that people thought would be getting this lawsuit going to the Supreme Court, and particularly the Sixth Circuit, which Kentucky's part of. The lawsuit is actually for the Sixth Circuit. It's Kentucky, it's Ohio,
Tennessee, and
and Michigan are the 4 states that are in that circuit, which have issues going up to the Supreme Court with regards to gay marriage. So did you have the support of various different organizations that were kind of helping you to make that decision, or was it a difficult decision to kind of decide that this is going to be a case that could potentially go to Supreme Court? No.
Didn't really give that much thought. Just climbed on board and, you know, and just wrote it for wherever it went.
That decision, where we found out that decision came later after we got involved. That was going to go to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
And it helps to have the other couples with us. We've all kind of become a family, so we kind of always boost each other. Since I'm the oldest, I'm 72. It's a little late to me to be getting on the advocacy bandwagon, but I get discouraged. I've been through this all my life. The put downs and I can't say I was ever bullied, but now I read things and I think, you know, I'm a human being. Why, you don't even know me? You know, Jim and I have been together longer than Steve and Jane Bashir have been together. We've been together longer than Jack Conway has been alive. So, you know, those words hurt, and people need to know that. You don't know who you're talking to. You have to be careful.
Right. Now, with this lawsuit that you've had, there have been some ups and some downs all along this way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because the reason it's going to the Supreme Court is because the past a judge said that they ruled in your favor, the Hebron decision, correct?
Right.
They ruled
Yes.
in your favor. It was stayed, and then the circuit judges 2 to 1 reversed that decision, which made it go to the Supreme Court. So, what was your feeling after that first decision that was really in your favor with regards to this
we
case?
were very pleased
right.
with that. Yeah, totally did not expect it. Judge Hayburn has just been wonderful to us. When they went back for the other 2 couples that want to get married, he agreed with that also. So, and this is a George Bush appointee. So it was kind of strange. We've had a lot of Republican appointees that have come to their senses. And so it's fun to see. But then we end up in Cincinnati. Judge Daughtry was just unbelievable. It was worth all the hassle sitting there and going through this to get to hear some of the comments she made. I mean, they marched us into the room. We sat there for, what, 2 hours with nothing going on. And then they came out to say what they had to say, and there wasn't much of that said either. And then we came home. It was anticlimactical because you get all worked up and everything. So you don't want to talk to me after the Supreme Court because I'll be in the basement and this house doesn't have one.
It'll be fine.
Well, so as we said, the actual discussion with the Supreme Court is in April. And then a ruling is potentially
by the end of June.
By the end of June.
Yes.
So by the end of June,
we should know.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we'll be doing a follow-up interview.
You'll come back with the champagne and
Yes,
you bring it.
That's right. We'll come back and have a discussion at that point.
We expect the court to rule in our favor at that time. And then at that point, gay marriage should be legal all over the United States.
Well, it'll take a while. It's not going to happen overnight.
And there are various different decisions or outcomes that could have, you know. So in this lawsuit, there are 6 couples, correct?
For Kentucky.
For Kentucky, for your lawsuit. And you said 4 of them have been married elsewhere and looking for marriage recognition by the state of Kentucky.
Right.
The 2 other couples are looking to be able to be married in the state of Kentucky, and they are the 2 issues that are currently going to be discussed by the Supreme Court, right? So when you got married in Iowa, was anything different with your relationship?
No, nothing changed.
No, we did it for that reason at the time. We just didn't really think of all of the great benefits now that we've discovered, tax-wise, insurance-wise, all those things. So it's worked out really good.
You see how far we're sitting apart. I mean, that's the way we were raised. We didn't show affection out in public. When we got married in Iowa, even though I had been on the Civil Rights Commission there, and the former director, who's now a lawyer, was our witness, and the former mayor was a witness. We exchanged our rings under the table. We're just very conservative as far as our life is concerned. We were raised that way. I mean, we couldn't tell anybody we were gay, so we are now.
Now we can.
That's right. It's taken 47 years. We have a lot different, right?
Yeah.
So when you got married 6 years ago, you got married in Iowa, came back, no legal changes really, because it wasn't recognized here at all, and it wasn't recognized federally. So a year ago, when it was recognized federally, in this past year, have you had some different outcomes? I think with taxes, you said that
we filed our taxes as a couple, first time ever as a married couple. And other than that, we're looking forward to the future, but that's all we've been doing so far.
Great. Well, thank you very much for talking with me.
Gary, I want to thank you for what you're doing in Central Kentucky. If we didn't have Channel 6, a lot of people wouldn't know what's going on.
Yes.
So we appreciate you and all that you do.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you for letting me come to your house and talk with you about this. And again, I'm talking with Luke and Jim. They got married. It'll be 6 years this year, and they're hoping to celebrate their anniversary with a win from the Supreme Court.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Because your anniversary is in July?
July.
July,
So
and
it'll be
hopefully
close,
in June you'll have know the results of this case. Again, it's going to be in April that it goes to the Supreme Court, that they will have those 2 questions on there, and then hopefully we'll have the results from that in June. And we'll talk to you again then. How's that sound?
Stay tuned.
Thank you very much. That's great. Again, this has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.